Happy Monday, beautiful people. It's Cree back again with an episode of Conversations with Cree. I hope everyone is having a wonderful week so far. Well, this is Monday, so it's the first day. I hope you all had a wonderful day to get your week started. So, if you have been following the conversation, and if you joined me last week or watched the video uploaded, it was about setting healthy boundaries, and I wanted to continue for the rest of the month on the topic of boundaries because there's so much that could be said, and it's so important for us all to be able to set boundaries in our lives with people that we love, when it comes to relationships, boundaries in our workplace or as a business owner, boundaries with our children, boundaries. I just can't stress how important it is because so many people don't set boundaries, and because of that they allow so much to go on in their lives, which causes sadness, and also it causes relationships to end because we don't set those boundaries, we don't have clear communication. So this week the topic is why we avoid setting boundaries, because one thing I've come to know, and from my personal experiences, is that once you know about boundaries, then you can kind of run into the aspect of why I'm not setting boundaries, especially with certain people. Why is it so hard for me to say no, or that I'm not going to do that, or to allow certain things to be done to us? And one thing I want to say before we get started is please share, like, and subscribe to my channel. If it's anyone that you know that can benefit from the conversations that we are having, don't hesitate to share the YouTube with them. So every week I do a Bible verse, and this week my Bible verse is from Matthew 5:37, and it says, "But let your yes be yes, and your no, no." And that's so simple. I mean, that's as clear cut as it can get. But let your yes be yes, and your no, no. So what that means to me is that we need to be confident in our decision making. We should not be indecisive. We should only say yes when we mean it, but also be able to say no and be confident in that decision, which equals setting healthy boundaries. So we definitely have to be confident enough to be saying yes and no. But when you say these things, you have to be able to stand on that. You need to be able to, hold yourself accountable, others accountable, and be okay with whatever it is that you decide to do. And it's not coming from a place of malice, and it's not, some people can think that when you stand your ground that you're being rude or just not nice, I guess, or you're being mean. But it's ways to do everything. It's ways to do everything, and I've talked about some of that on the last video, the healthy ways to build those boundaries, the communication, not being mean. But sometimes, and if you're like me, it's been times where I didn't set the proper boundaries and I ended up being mean, because now I feel hurt, I feel taken advantage of or betrayed by someone that I feel like loved me, and why would you do that? But I had to start to look inside of myself and inward to know that that's something that I have to do. That's something that I have to set the precedence for. I have to teach people how to treat me, and there's nothing wrong with that, because if I don't, then people will get the wrong impression, or if you allow them to do certain things for so long, they don't know that it's an issue, especially if you're not speaking up for yourself. So that's why it's so important to have good communication skills along with setting these boundaries. You have to be able to communicate. So some of the things that I've kind of thought about why we or people have such a hard time setting boundaries, and one big thing that comes to mind is fear. Fear shows up in our life in so many different ways, and I've talked about fear in the past. It's something that just keeps us bound. It keeps us from doing things that we would want to do, it keeps us just stuck and paralyzed, because fear is not a good thing. And once we can overcome that, I think that we make so much progress in life when it comes to so many things, not just the topic at hand. But some of the ways fear stops us from setting boundaries is, we fear when we set boundaries, or we, want to stand up for ourselves, that we have the fear of losing love. And if in any relationship that you feel like, if you stand up for yourself, or if you make yourself a priority, or that you communicate the things that you need, and you fear that that's going to cause you to lose the relationship with the person, or lose out on love, that's not healthy anyway. In healthy relationships and communication, we should be able to say what we need, be able to talk to the person and let them know, hey, this does not work for me. Now, like I said, it's a way to do everything, and we should always be communicating what we need, or the things that's not working for us anymore. And that's where we find ourselves in having the problem, is that, we don't always know the best way to communicate it, or to say it, or we wait until we're all upset, it's resentment, and then it comes out wrong. But fear of losing love is a major part of why a lot of people don't set boundaries, because they are scared that if they set boundaries with certain people, that they will lose them. And my thing is this: once somebody loves you, and you know that, and you love them, it should not be that fear there. You should be able to communicate and work on what needs to be worked on. So please don't let fear of losing love stop you from setting your boundaries. Fear of loneliness, and that goes right along with what we were just talking about. Fear of loneliness, meaning you are scared that if you tell the person how you feel, or you put those boundaries out there, that you're going to be alone. Because why would anybody want to be okay with the things that you're demanding for yourself? And to me, that's just a way that people control each other. And if they know how you are, people will work on that, and they will. And it's not good that people do that, but if once they figure out that they have you that way, a lot of people will continue to treat you a certain way, knowing that you're not going to stand up for yourself because you are scared to be without them. And loneliness is a space where a lot of people struggle with, and it don't feel good to feel lonely, or to feel like you don't have anyone in your corner, or that you're alone to do everything by yourself. So many people do things that they necessarily don't want to do because they just want someone there with them. Not good at all. It's not good. And I hope and pray that if that is your situation, that you're able to figure out how to work against that, because that's not a good place to be. Another fear is fear of anger. Scared that if I set this boundary, or I stand up for myself, someone's going to react angrily towards me. They're going to be mad at me. That's still another case of not such a healthy relationship. No matter what relationship it is, if it's with a significant other, with loved ones, family members, co-workers, your boss, or whoever like that you have a relationship with, that if you set any type of boundaries, they're going to be upset with you. It's going to be anger. Once again, that's working on self, and that's being able to recognize that when this shows up in your life, fear of that's probably not a good thing. So that's just how one more reason for us to be able to do the work that we need to do, to be able to recognize those things in ourselves, and to be able to stand up and have the confidence to tell anyone that, hey, this is what I need for me, and I understand you feel this way, but if we're going to have a relationship, or we're going to be connected any type of way, I need this, and I need this, and if I can't receive it, then maybe the relationship has to end. And that's the hardest thing to do. But once you get to that point, you're going to always look out for you first. Then it gets easier to let people go, or to demand what it is that you need in order for you to be okay. The fear of being misunderstood. I think that's a major one as well, because a lot of times we don't want to be or show fully who we are to people, or stand up for ourselves in a way that we have to demand or ask them to see us in the different space than what they're used to seeing us. And that's just really unfortunate as well, because that means you're not able to be your true authentic self with these people. So you are probably bending and conforming to what they like in order for them to be in your life or for you to be in their lives. And once again, that's not okay. We all will feel misunderstood at some point in our lives, because we all are different. We all are individuals, and we all look at things in a different way. We are all not going to agree on everything. And I think in today's climate, everybody has their opinions, and they just want you to go along with what they feel, what they think is right. And so it's a lot of debates and arguments. But I think, we're all individuals. We all have our own lenses going through this life, and how we're viewing things, how we grow up. And it's beautiful to be able to come and get together and discuss those things, understand each other, and allow people to be different. So if you have that fear that if you set certain type of boundaries that you will be misunderstood and that people would judge you, that's the part of you learning to grow within yourself and learning self-love, cultivating self-love, and being able to tell people, hey, this is who I am. I know you may not agree with everything, but if you love me, if you want to have a relationship with me, then you will understand me and meet me where I am. And that goes both ways. You can't be that way with other people either. You can't, just judge people, or if they don't agree with everything that you agree with, that they're wrong, or you don't want them in your life either. So, I mean, we live and we learn, and it's always a day-to-day process, but that's part of growing, and that's part of learning, and we all have to do it. We all have to do it, because that's just part of life. It's part of life. Another thing that we deal with when it comes to being afraid to set boundaries or not wanting to is low self-esteem. So many people deal with low self-esteem, and then that makes you believe that what your needs are not important to the next person. You put everybody else before you, all their needs before your needs. And once again, that just us having to focus on loving ourselves, learning about ourselves, not believing the lies that's been told to you. If you've been put down in the past, if somebody told you wasn't worth it, or you're not worthy, or that's your thoughts, because sometimes our thoughts is stronger than what anybody else can say to us, and that's not okay. Having a relationship with God and learning and seeing the love He has for me, how He loves me, I'm able to realize that I deserve everything, that I deserve to be loved, I deserve to be, treated with respect, and I'm worthy, and I can do and be anything that I want to be. And I'm one that has dealt with low self-esteem in the past, all the way up until current day. But when I say in this new season of my life, I have really been able to look at myself and say, girl, you're beautiful. You have so many things working for you. You are worthy. As a teenager or a young person, I didn't see that in myself. I did not love myself. I did not think I was pretty, but that's normal. That's a normal thing for someone young to think. But thank goodness at this point in my life, I can say I see the beauty in myself. And a lot of times it's not surface, it's skin deep. Your heart. How do you show up to people? How do you help people? How do they view you? And I'd rather people to see my soul and say that's beautiful any day than just my outward beauty, how I look to people. So once I've learned that, then it's been so much easier for me to move forward in my life and really love myself and love the person I see when I look in the mirror, or when I record videos, or when I go live. The person that I'm looking at right now, she's beautiful and worthy, and just a bright light to shine for everyone to see. So I hope that me doing this and speaking on these topics is helping the next person to be able to see themselves in the light that they didn't before, to know that it's possible to have these things and to do the work, and to, no matter what you've been through, what your past look like, that you're worthy, that you can have the life that you want to live, that God loves you, and that if you seek him, he will do all the things for you. But we just first have to go on that journey, that healing journey, and be truthful about what it is that we need to work on, what we need to change, the things we've been struggling with in our lives. And a big part that I see with so many people, including myself, up until I've been, doing the work, and it's not done, it's going to be an everyday thing, but that we suffer when it comes to setting boundaries for ourselves, especially with people that we love. It's just a thing, and I think that we need to talk about it more, and we need to hold ourselves accountable and actually just get it done. Past experiences can be a reason why it's hard for us to set boundaries. People have violated your boundaries in the past, so you feel like, it really made you feel some type of way. So next time when you are in that mode and you just thinking about, oh, I don't like the way this person's treating me, or I don't like this about this situation, then you think back to when you had set boundaries and the people violated, or they didn't take it seriously, or they still continue to do the things you said you didn't like. So now you're just like, I don't even want to deal with it. It is what it is. And you put yourself on the back burner once again. A lot of times when people violate boundaries, it's because they just never had experience with that. They probably don't have boundaries for themselves, and they did not receive that knowledge, as a young person, and maybe they don't know that's what they're doing. Some people, they very well know, and they just don't care, and that's the reality. But once again, only thing you can do about that is do what's best for you. If someone's constantly violating your boundaries and you're making it very clear what it is that you will deal with or won't deal with, and they just continue to do these things, then you got to make a decision. Either you're gonna be okay with what I'm saying to you, or we just cannot be in a relationship. We can't have a friendship, family. I cannot communicate with you. I cannot be around you. But don't change the love I have for you, but it's going to be at a distance. I can't continue to do this because I'm telling you. Now, this is the problem. I'm telling you what it is that I need, and you just don't care. You're going to continue to do the same things to me. Yeah, that's definitely a problem. So, in that instance, you just got to be strong enough to, do what's best for you and move forward without them. And hopefully at some point, they can do the work and make changes. And if they show back up and want a relationship with you, and they can show you, hey, I've done the work, and I see what you were saying, I'm gonna do better, and they actually show you with action, then hey, move forward with them in your life. But that's up to you, and that's gonna be your decision. So one major thing that it's a big thing now, I think we getting a lot of attention, or it's more attention being shined on mental illness. When it comes to mental illness, or mental health I should say, that can play a big part in why people won't set boundaries, because of anxiety, depression, and other conditions. It creates challenges with setting boundaries. And I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that, but it's real. Mental health is real. Mental illness is real. There's a lot of people dealing with a lot of different things mentally, for whatever reason. Whether, they were born with the situation, or something happened that made the, the illness or what have you develop. So just keep that in mind. If it's someone that deals with a certain type of mental illness, or have some type of mental thing going on, they sometimes will not have the capacity to be able to set boundaries with people, because for whatever reason, they just don't see it clearly. They want people in their life. They have what's it called, dependency issues or what have you. And unfortunately, people will take advantage of individuals that deal with those type of things, because they maybe don't have a lot of friends or family, and so when they do find a relationship, they kind of just hold on to those people for dear life, and therefore they allow a lot of things. But we need to be more aware that that is a thing, and do what we can to help the next person, to be kind to the next person that's dealing with those type of things, or just offering them support, if they will accept it, or just being somebody that just gives the information if it's needed, where they can go find help, maybe go to therapy, maybe go see a doctor. But it starts with the person wanting to do the thing to change or get help. So you can just suggest it, but I understand that we can't make anyone do anything they don't want to do, and I've dealt with that firsthand, so I understand and I know what that's like. So the last thing I want to touch on when it comes to what may cause us not to set boundaries, and it's not knowing who we are as people. To know what your likes and dislikes are is major. And what's so true is that so many people don't know who they are, so they don't even know what they like. They deal with stuff, and it's because they don't understand themselves. They can't even tell you, oh, well, I don't like this, I don't like that, or this is what I'd rather be doing, because I don't know. I'm just doing what it is you want to do. Whatever you say goes. And in life, I'm learning that the more you know who you are, the more confident you will be, the more peace you will have. You will just live a better life, because now you understand your purpose. There's just so many things that before, and I'm still learning who I am as a person, because it was a lot of times that my titles defined who I was or who I am. But I had to look deeper and say, who are you? Who am I? Without my titles, just the woman, Lucretia. Who am I? And just discovering those things about myself, and really going back in time and thinking about the things I liked when I was a child that maybe I didn't get to do, or it was just not a thing I was able to do. But I'm starting to pinpoint those things, deep dive, praying, asking for a clear vision of what it is that I'm here to do, my purpose in this life. And I think I found it. I really have. It's been, here, and I've been doing this little by little, but I see now why, I went through the things I went through, why my story is my story, because it was preparing me for this time in my life to be able to get on this platform and speak to you all, to tell my story, to tell you all what it is that I've learned through my healing and the healing journey I'm on currently. And it's just the best time of my life, because it's such a power with learning and understanding who you are as a person completely, that no one can shake you, no one can tell you, because 100%. No one can confuse you, no one can come in your life and shake things up and tell you who you are, because already. Be like, oh no, that's not me. And what I've ran into in the past is that a lot of people know you from who you were, and we're always growing, and they want to hold you in that box. They want to keep you the person that they know you to be. But what you trying to show them, like, no, that's not, that was me, but it's not me anymore. They can't even Their minds can't even wrap around it. So they try to still keep you in that box, and it becomes conflict because they don't know who you are. And when you're trying to tell them, they like, no, that's not what you do. That's not what you like. And it's like, okay, well, this is who I am, and if you don't believe it, I can't make you believe it. But one thing that may happen is that these relationships may end. With setting boundaries, relationships may end because people just don't understand, like, what's gotten into her, or why is she doing this, or why is she saying that. That never was her thing before. And it's okay. Relationships end. They do. And if you've done everything you can to try to make the relationship work, and maybe sometimes there's no closure. I spoke on losing people in your life. You know, not that they died, but that a friendship ended, and then how there's so much grief in that. And we have to learn how to work through those situations, because it is grief. You're losing somebody, but the thing is, they're still here. You still may see them. And we need to understand that relationships end. People come into our lives for many reasons, but they can't stay. Everybody will not stay, and everybody cannot go on your journey with you, especially as you elevate. Some people are just there for that moment, for a reason, and once you look back and you notice what the reason is, you can have so much closure, like, okay, I see what that was about. You might have to be in their lives to teach them something, to show them something, and it goes both ways. And we all gonna have people that stay in our lives forever. They're gonna be there, and those are the people that you pay attention to, the ones that's always showing up, the ones that never let you down, that accepts you for who you are, no matter what. Those are the people you need to focus on, not the ones that's not willing, or you have such a hard time having that relationship with them. There's something that's not right, and we gotta call it for what it is. But continue to set those boundaries, and that's you loving on you, and that's you doing what you need to do for you and for self. And it's not selfish, and it's a way to do everything. It really is. You don't have to be mean about it. Like I said, I want to keep reiterating that you don't have to be mean about it. It's communication. It's a way to say everything, but stand on it. Stand on it. So everyone, thank you so much for joining me, watching this video, joining the conversation every week. Next week, like I said, we're going to continue the conversation when it comes to setting boundaries. But next week is going to be, let's see, next Monday, the conversation will be how to address when people violate our boundaries, which we just spoke on a little bit. What do we do when somebody oversteps and continues to just push our boundaries, not caring about them, acting like they're not there? How do we deal with that? So come back next week and we'll talk about it. But that's all I have for tonight, you guys. Make sure you join me next week, the same time, same place. And have a good evening and an even better week. I will see you soon. Bye, everyone.